Hey there! We're swimming in text data all the time. Everything from log files and error messages to simple user inputs. But let's be honest, a lot of the time it's a mess. It's totally unstructured. So today, we're going to dive into some simple but incredibly powerful tools that let us bring order to that chaos. And this isn't just some neat party trick. Mastering this is fundamental. It's how you turn raw, messy text into clean, organized information.
All right, so let's say someone hands you this single line of text. It's a classic, right? A comma-separated string with a name, an email, and an age, all just kind of jammed together. For us, it's a little hard to read, and for a computer program, it's not very useful as is. So the real question is, how do we get from this jumble
to this, something clean, labeled, and perfectly formatted, something a person can understand at a glance and a program can actually use? This exact transformation is the secret sauce behind so much of what software does every day. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how it's done.
First up in our toolkit is the thing responsible for that beautiful end result, the f-string. If you're working with text in Python, this is your modern-day secret weapon for making things look good.
So what exactly is an f-string? Well, the F stands for formatted, and it's basically a magic trick for building strings. All you do is put an F before the opening quote, and then you can pop your variables right inside a pair of curly braces, directly in the text. It is so much more readable and efficient, which is why pretty much everyone uses it now.
And just look at how clean that is. We've got our two variables, name and age. Inside the F string, we just write name and age, exactly where we want their values to show up. The code just handles the rest, plugging them in to build the final sentence. Seriously, no more messing around with clumsy plus signs to connect bits of text together.
Okay, formatting is great, but what if you need to find stuff first? Or maybe even clean it up a bit? Before you can present data, you often have to poke around inside the string, and that's where our next set of tools comes into play.
So, when you need to track something down inside a string, you've got two main options: find and index. Both of them do the same basic job. They tell you the starting position of a piece of text. The huge difference is what happens when they can't find it. Find is the safe searcher. It'll just return -1 and let you move on. Index, on the other hand, is strict. If it doesn't find what it's looking for, it raises an error and stops everything. Use that one when you're absolutely sure the text should be there.
And once you find what you're looking for, you'll probably want to change it. That is exactly what replace dot is for. Now, here's a really important thing to remember. Strings are what we call immutable, which is a fancy way of saying they can't be changed. So replace dot doesn't actually alter your original string. Instead, it hands you back a brand new, shiny, modified copy. And check this out. It's a perfect example of how precise you can be. We're telling it to replace the lowercase word hello with hi. But see that little number 1 at the end? That's an optional argument that tells replace to only do it once. So it skips the capitalized hello at the start, finds the first lowercase hello, swaps it for hi, and then it's done. Super useful.
All right, let's talk about one of the most common jobs in all of data processing: taking a string apart into pieces and then putting those pieces back together. And for that, we have the perfect tag team: split and join.
You really should think of these two as two sides of the same coin. Split is like your demolition tool. You give it a string and tell it what character to break on, like a comma, and it just shatters that string into a list of smaller pieces. Then you have join function, which is your construction tool. It takes that list of pieces and glues them all back together into one string, using whatever character you want as the glue.
So here's split in action. Take a look at this log entry. It's just one long string, but all the useful bits of info, the level, the date, the message, are separated by a colon. So by calling .split:, we're telling Python, hey, use that colon as a knife and chop this string up wherever you see one.
And bam, look at that. What was one string is now a tidy list with 3 separate items. Each piece of our data is now its own element, totally independent and ready for us to work with. This is the absolute core of parsing structured text. And now, let's go in reverse with join. This time, we start with a list of words. The syntax here might look a little backward at first, but it makes sense. We're telling the space character, that string with a single space, hey you, go and join all the items in this list. And the result? A perfectly constructed sentence. Okay, so we've got our tools, we have split to chop things up, and f-strings to make them look pretty. It's time to go back to that original problem and see just how easy it is to solve now. And this is where it all clicks. Step 1,
We take our raw data string and we split it on the comma. That gives us a list, which we'll call parts. Step 2. We use a single f string to build our final output. We just grab the first item, part 0, for the name, the second, parts 1, for the email, and the third, parts 2, for the age. And that's it. 2 simple lines of code, and the puzzle is completely solved.
So, what you've just seen are the essential tools in your new text processing toolkit. You can parse and break down complex strings using split. You can format that data for a beautiful presentation with f-strings. And you can find and transform any little piece of information you need with find and replace. Seriously, with just these commands, you can handle almost any text-based data that gets thrown at you.
Because at the end of the day, text isn't just a bunch of characters. It is the language that data speaks. It's everywhere, in websites, in spreadsheets, in every system you interact with. And now that you understand the basic grammar for manipulating it, the real question is, what patterns and what stories are you going to unlock from all that data out there?